Hello everyone and welcome to the video. Today I'm going to replace some LEDs in my gauge cluster on a Skoda Octavia mk2 facelift. Process may be similar on other VAG cars like Volkswagen and Audi and stuff. I'm not sure, I haven't done it. This is how I did it on this specific model. First off, as you can see, my RPM needle doesn't light up at all. Also, the left side of my speedometer just kind of flickers sometimes. So I thought now's the time I do something about it. First off, you go to the light switch, put it on 0, push it in and turn to the right, clockwise. There's a plug on the back, a small clip, you just disengage it like in the video. Now there's 2 trim pieces on the sides. You can pull it off your fingers sometimes. In this case I use the pry tool, makes it a lot easier. All the tools used in this video, at least the pry tools, I bought them from AliExpress for like no money. I was just doing the same. Now, it's important before you start taking out the speedometer, take off the battery. You don't know what it can do a lot of damage. I'm not sure. Usually when I work on stuff, I just take off the battery just to be sure. The middle piece there, just 2 clips again. You just pull it out towards yourself and it should come out. In this case I needed to use the pry tool again, but just 2 small clips. Now the piece is attached with some fabric. You can take it off completely, but you can kind of like pull it out in a way, as you can probably see. There's 2 screws at the bottom of the speedometer. They're Torx 20s. Now in my case, one of them wasn't there. I only had the right one, so I'll take that out. Now make sure when you take it off, don't drop it down because you won't find it again. And that's how. You have 2 clips at the top of the speedometer where I'm pointing. I have these 2 small like pry tools. They're used for mobile phones. Get them off AliExpress for like €1 for like 10 pieces. I'm not really sure, but they're cheap. Put it at the top as it's shown. Push in. They should make some clicks when you get the clips. Not always, but in my case they both clicked a bit. Then you can pull it out. You can see, as you can see right there at the top, you just kind of push them down and they're disengaged. Now you gotta try to get out the speedometer. It can be a bit stuck. Try wiggling it back and forth. It's gonna come out at the end. Now the plug on the back, it's a big blue plug with a pink lever. What you do is on the plug itself, as I'll show in a second. There's like the pink lever, and then when it's locked, there's like a small like plastic tab on the blue connector itself. Just press that in, lift the lever, and the plug should just come out. Now I'll show the speedometer a bit. I'm not even sure if you can read those numbers, but if you can, there they are. Just kind of showing it around, how it looks. And yeah, that's the speedometer from my Skoda. Now, we're inside my bedroom at my workstation. We'll start off by disassembling it. There's 3 Torx 10s, all the 3 ones. You just screw those off. Trying to do like a full video showing everything from start to beginning. I skipped some parts because it's just the same thing all over and over again. I wouldn't suggest doing this reparation. I can't fucking speak. I wouldn't suggest doing this if you're not capable of soldering. The LEDs are very small and they require a bit of skill to desolder and solder new ones. But if you want to try it, then go for it. I wouldn't attempt it if I wasn't good at soldering. I'll put some gloves on. There's the clips all around the speedometer, the gauge cluster, sorry. You have to disengage those, so I'm using that screwdriver. Now I'm using gloves just to not get skin oils all over the faces and the inside basically. As you know, with the phone screens, it's kind of hard to get those off without smudging it, so I just use some gloves, be on the safe side. Now slowly disengage the clips to make sure you don't break them. If you pull it out too far, they will break. Take your time, but no rush. I had this issue. It was almost up, but it was like binding on something in the top of the gauge cluster. It was like a small like white hole where the screw goes in. It was kind of binding on that, but I just took a screwdriver and just clicked it out. Now we're reaching the part where you have to take the needles out. I'm using 2 forks and a clean towel. Put the forks underneath the needle. Make sure you don't scratch the faces. And just pull out. Or try pulling it out. May creak a bit, that's fine. Just do it evenly. Yeah, as you can hear, it's kind of cracking a bit. Eventually, it should come out. Note where the needles sit before touching them, because they have to go back in the same direction, or back in the same place at least. Now on the small one, I couldn't use 2, I only had place for 1 fork, so I'm holding it against with my thumb and just pulling up. Worked for me, they weren't very stuck. Now the face itself, it's held on in the middle by 2 like small tabs. You can, maybe you can just pull it out like I did on this one, but it may also like bind a bit more, so you would need to assist it. I'll show it on the other side. As you can see on this side, I just kind of pull it out slowly. Now I had an issue with my glow plugs. The light wasn't showing in my car. I thought they were broken. Turns out someone placed a piece of gum or something in the hole, so they wouldn't like make any light. I thought they were like broken, but no, it turns out it was just a piece of gum. Even I didn't really ready to replace it, but I didn't need to. Now I'm taking a picture. I can go from AliExpress just to kind of take the gum out. You don't need expensive tools for this. My soldering iron is also from AliExpress, but get some tools. That's basically it. That didn't have to be anything fancy. I think the other side, I'm gonna fast forward this, but it's the same basically. Try avoiding scratching the surface. It's hard when it's metal and the plastic, but try your best. As mentioned, this side is not just coming out like the other one. So I took one of the like pry tools, like the ones I used when I took out the gauge cluster. Just put it underneath in the middle, again gently. Just I kind of helped it out. I twisted a bit and just kind of popped out. Make sure don't do it too hard because you can scratch the paint and you'll have like holes in the back. As you can see, I'm kind of rubbing the things off my finger. I kind of nicked it a bit with the forks. In the end, it was all good. I couldn't see them when they were in the car, so that's good. Now for the diffuser, there's some small like white plastic tabs, one on each side. You push it in and you pull out, and it kind of pops out. Let's see here. Now the whole diffuser can just come out. Here's me desoldering one of the LEDs, just showing it. There's 5 on each gauge. There's 2 on each big needle and 1 on each small needle. These are the ones I used. I bought them from AliExpress. I got the white ones, and you can also see the specs, like what color they have, how much you can see all of it here. Now I've replaced all of them, the ones that light up anyway, not the ones for the different lamps. Now I'll start assembling it again. I took some alcohol just to wipe off the screen in the middle. As you can see, I got some smudge on it from my finger. Luckily, I can just wipe it off, but I wasn't too careful on that one. Yeah, that should be clean. Now I'll put some gloves on again, because I'm trying to assemble it again. The diffuser just goes on, clicks in place. Make sure you get the button like through the hole in the diffuser. There you go. Other features can go on in. You just click in on the middle, just like the two small tabs. Just gonna press it over, and that's about it. There's a small tab at the top too. You gotta make sure you line that up, but you can clearly see if it's like not sitting properly. The same on the other side. Put it in and just click it over in the middle. There you go. Now we put the needles in. Make sure you put them in the right orientation. As I said, you gotta watch out how like they were sitting when you took them off. In my case, they were both sitting just underneath the numbers, like the gauges. Like for example, on the 0, it was just slightly underneath. When you turn the ignition, mine would go up a bit to 0. But yeah, just make sure you put them in the same place. There's no like ridges or anything. It's just a round like press fit. So try your best. If they're not sitting properly, they're just gonna read incorrectly, basically. And that's the last needle. I would just take the cover for the gauge cluster and just click it on again. Make sure you clean it of dust if there's any. I had mine like I had it, so I didn't get any dust in it. It just clicks on again. Now I take the Torx 10 again. I screw in the 3 screws on the back. While I'm doing that, I'll explain what you do when you get to the car. Put the plug into the speedometer again. Put the battery on again, or at least the terminal that took off. And just test if everything is fine, if the LEDs light up, and if you have any like clear mistakes. Like I don't know, like let's say a needle just kind of falls off when it turns on. I can now just test everything before you mount it in again. And yeah, we'll hop to that part in a bit. I'll just finish assembling it here. There you go. And that's one gauge cluster assembled and new LEDs. I'll put it in again. Again, the plug is in on the back. Just push it in. Clicks in place with the clips at the top. Ignore the missing radio. I had to work on that too. I'll take the Torx 20 again and just put it in and screw it back in. Make sure you don't lose the screw again, because if you lose it, it's gonna fall into the pits of darkness. Basically, you're not gonna see it again. So make sure you don't drop it. Now the middle piece, it can just click into place. There you go. Let's find the right one. There you go. Then the trim piece is also just click in. I put my lights button on again because I have to test everything, but just take it off again. Put the trim on and then the button back again. When putting it after you put the plug in, you want to put the button in. You just put it. It usually sits with the side marker lights like icon towards the top. You'll see in the video in a second. You just push in, and it just clicks in again. like that. Now you can take your key with the battery connected again, of course. And you test if everything works. I already did that, I'm just doing it to show the camera. There you go. There's the steering wheel light, the yellow one. If you have that, turn the wheel all the way to the left and all the way to the right, and that should fix it. It's because it took off the battery and you have to relearn the clock spring. There you go, everything works. This is it at night, see the colors. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, I hope I helped someone. Again, I wouldn't attempt this if I wasn't experienced with soldering. It's not an easy project if you haven't done it before. If you're a first time solderer, I wouldn't do it. But if you've done it for some time, you've done some wires maybe, maybe even working on some boards, then attempt it. See if you can do anything. But as I said, I wouldn't attempt it if I had never tried it before. LEDs aren't expensive. I've got 100 of them for like €3 from AliExpress. But so yeah, I mean that's about it. It's a common issue from what I've read. In my case, I had one bad LED on the RPM cluster and 2 of them on the speedometer that were kind of like not working properly. But I replaced all of them just to be safe because I was already in there and they're very expensive. As mentioned, there's like what 5 on each side and then 2 on each of the big needles. That's 14, 15, 16 LEDs you need, but get more because you never know, right? I mean, I fucked up some of them. Some of them I've put the new one on and I kind of melted it by mistake, so I had to replace it again. I think I ended using about 20 LEDs because I made some mistakes. So get more than you need. That's basically it. Also, a big help, if you haven't used it before, flux. It's a really useful tool. Give it some flux and solder just flows better. But yeah, that's about it. I hope I helped someone here.